Okay, now 2015, you got the turning point. You understood what you need to do, right? So you're a lifer. We know around this time. Well, actually, it was 2016 with the youth offender thing
Yeah,
pop,
it's changed.
right? You did this in 2015, 2016. The new laws start popping. The good ones that are helping a lot of individuals. So tell me, right? Tell me, how was your time going to board? I know. Did you win a couple times, or you only went got granted the first time, or how it was?
Now what? To trip on this. So when I finally went to board,
Uh huh.
I had refused my board 4 times.
Okay, four times. Uh huh.
Yeah, I've never went. I never went
You never
because
went.
I was in that mindset where you know what I mean. I'm not gonna go fool them. You know what I mean. I don't care. My
Uh
life's
huh.
over. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
And so I just like man. And so when I finally went, trip on this. I went, but before I went, I already had turned my life over.
Uh huh.
And what I did is I got on my knees.
Uh huh.
I wrote down all my sins. I asked God to forgive me. I ripped it up. I flushed it,
Uh huh.
and I went to board.
Uh huh.
And when I was sitting in the room waiting, like I was nervous,
Yeah. It's,
and so I just said, you know what, God, if it's your will, let your will be done.
uh huh.
And then next, the officer came and just opened the door wide. He goes, "Hey, your board's been canceled." I said, "Why?" He goes, "The commissioner just injured his rib."
Oh.
And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah." So when he told me that, right, it's like, "What?" I said, "Oh man, so what's going to happen?" He goes, "You'll come back like in 3 or 6 months."
Uh huh.
So I said, "All right." And when I was telling people, they were saying, "You know what?" And it came to me that, you know what? God didn't want me to go in front of that commissioner
Right there and then.
right then and there. And he was telling me, "You're not ready,
Uh huh.
right? You still have a little bit more work to do."
Yes.
And so, you know what I mean? I stood positive, you know what I mean? I said, okay, you know, me as a person in prison, what I did is isolated myself from a lot of people because you know
Yeah.
what? I wanted to walk a walk that was what God wanted me to walk.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Giving advice to those that wanted it, that were seeking it,
Uh huh.
you know what I mean? But doing the walk that I'm supposed to be doing and just staying focused into my purpose that God had for me.
Yeah.
You know, so when I finally did go back, the second time, and it was a trip because when I finally went in there,
Uh huh.
the first question they asked me, they go, "Hey, we want to ask you a question." I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
They go, "You refused 4 times. Why?"
All right.
And so I told them straight out, I go, "Look, I'm gonna be straight up with you." I go, "The reason why I refused is because I wasn't ready.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't gonna come in here and waste your guys' time or try to think I could manipulate you guys, or thinking I was, you know what I mean, going to get out.
Yes.
You know." And they looked and said, "Man, you know what? We appreciate you for being honest."
Yeah.
You know, they go, "Thank you." And "Yeah." I said, "You're welcome." So then I got, they brought up a thing where I got hit with 15 confidentials saying I was doing things that I wasn't doing, right?
And those they do affect you when you go to board. Those things,
Yeah.
it's all bad.
Yeah. So when they brought that up, I said, "Man, look," I said, "I don't know what they're talking about, but you know, I mean, I'm not doing nothing. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? I'm here representing who I am today. You know what I mean? And the change within me."
Uh-huh.
They go, "Well, they go, that's 15 uh, uh, confidentials."
That's a
They go,
lot.
"We're going to have to investigate."
Yes.
I said, "All right, well, you guys go ahead and do your investigation." So I ended up going back for and waited for 6 more months.
6 more months.
So
To
that
the
so
front.
when I finally went back, so my attorney, which really shocked me because we're in the board,
Uh-huh.
and he started speaking about me like if he knew me,
Uh-huh.
and telling them that, you know what I mean, look, he's a changed person, you know what I mean, he gave his life to God.
Yes.
And he's, man, he's giving a story that, like, I'm looking at him where I actually cried because, you know what, I've never had nobody fight for me.
Yes.
And to see a stranger sit there like he knew me,
Yeah.
but he believed in me.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what really hit me. And he was telling them that, that he believed that I was ready to get out, and that I was going to make a difference when I got out, and I wouldn't come back.
Yes.
And when it came to my time to talk, you know what I mean, I ended up representing who I was, you know what I mean? Because I think the pinpoint that really, really helped me understand positivity was Gogi, getting out by going in,
Yeah.
right? And Coach Taylor, uh, uh, she really changed my life because, you know what I mean, she helps prisoners, you know what I mean, change their mindset and find ways to become more positive
Yeah.
and giving back.
And she gets involved. She goes to the prison and gets involved in the
Yeah,
program. And,
yeah.
she's not
She's
just
not,
working from the outside.
yeah. No, she's not that type where she just sits back and lets everybody does it. No, she's in front, you know what I mean, fighting that battle, believing in each individual that they are better, they can change.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And seeing that person for who they are, not who they were,
Uh-huh.
and that really helped me make positive decisions.
Yes. So, okay, so you have the lawyer right here fighting for you, right?
Yeah,
Uh, After that, you spoke, or what happened right there, and then that's when you got granted parole.
yeah.
You
So
got granted.
when yeah, so they took a break. They said they were gonna make their decision. I
Uh-huh.
was waiting. I was nervous, right?
Nervous, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I trusted in God and I left everything up to Him, right?
Uh-huh.
And so when they called me back, they said, "Well, we're gonna find you suitable, right?" And I was shocked, right? I was like, "What?"
Uh-huh.
And they go, however, they go, you still have to do 8 more years.
Eight more years, yes.
I said, "Yeah,
Eight
I understand that."
case
And
because other case you caught. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I go,
Uh-huh.
"Yes, I understand that." And they go, any little thing, you know what I mean? You would become a lifer again.
Yes.
And he goes, the chances of you getting another date is very slim.
Uh-huh.
I said, "Oh, believe me, I know that."
Yeah.
And so when I got out, you know what I mean? When they finally gave me my date, it's like, to me, I didn't care. You know what I mean? There was a big ass weight lifted off my shoulder that I wasn't a lifer no more.
Yes.
I was free.
Uh-huh. So
Even though I still had 8 more years, but I was free.
yes, you had that like after that, man. And it's crazy how, because the first thing that goes to mind is once you go to board, man, I got a chance of going home. So everybody's gonna take it. And you
Yeah,
didn't. You didn't take that opportunity. You were like, I'm not ready. I'm not gonna go to board. You refused 4 times. Understood that you were ready. You're like, okay, let me go in front of these individuals and say what I have to say and tell them who I am now, how different I am from what I used to be.
yeah.
So, how was your first day getting out after being locked up all those times? What was your first day? What was your first meal? Like, I want to, what the feelings? What was it? Who was the first people you see? Like, what happened, man?
Okay, so when they were walking me through and they put me in the middle of these two big ass gates, right, with the tower,
Yeah.
and they open it to release me, right? So I'm just standing there. I stood there for 5 minutes, didn't move or didn't do nothing.
Uh huh.
And the tower laughing at me. They go, "Hey, you could go." And I'm looking up, right? I said, "Man, this is just a dream," right? And so I'm walking out, and my niece is waiting for me.
Your niece,
And
yeah.
yeah, so she picked me up, and you know what I mean. It to me is like, wow, I never thought, you know what I mean, I was gonna get out.
Uh-huh.
You know, I never thought I was gonna have a second chance at life. You know, and then so we're driving back, and what I did notice is the closer we got to LA, I started having anxiety. I started
Yeah.
having an anxiety attack, and I was getting nervous. You know, the first thing I ate was a burrito, but you know what I mean. My stomach was turning,
Yeah.
and my niece would look at me. She goes, "It's going to be all right, Theo. You're going to be okay."
Yeah.
You know, and in my mind is like, I don't know if I could do this. I was doubting myself
Uh-huh.
because you got to remember, most of my life I lived in there,
Uh-huh.
and here I am coming out to a society that I did not know. You know, and so when they took me to the home, she dropped me off, and I stood in front of the door,
Uh-huh.
and she waited at the corner just watching me. And so I said, "No, I can't do this." I turned around and I started walking back to my niece. I said, "No, I can't do this. Take me back."
Uh-huh.
And she goes, "What?" She goes, "No, Theo." She goes, "No, you ain't going back." She goes, "You could do this. We're here for you."
Uh-huh.
And you know, I thank my niece for that day, man. You know what I mean? Because she gave me that inspiration, that motivation, that you know what, she believed in me and knew that I could do it.
I mean, man, imagine I mean, just imagine being gone all those years. I don't know if your niece was even born when you got locked up the first time this last time, but uh some of them, some people might not know it's okay. And you just made a point earlier, but once you're a lifer, you're gonna be on parole. If you were to violate that parole, you're out on the streets. If you violate the parole, you go back to prison as a lifer again. You know,
Yeah,
you don't go there and do it. Oh, let me do 6 months or a year or whatever. No, you go back to prison as a lifer. That's why a lot of lifers, man, they have to take their freedom serious, you know, and they do because they know it's basically another life sentence if they messed up by any little thing. So you went to the what reentry what's called reentry home, that's what it is,
yeah.
reentry home. uh how was your experience right there in the reentry home?
Well, man, to me, it's like being free. I didn't really care about anything
Y-
else.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, I still struggled
Uh-huh.
because you know they would tell me I could go outside and all that, but I would stay in my room more and just pace. I would
Yeah.
pace back and forth, and
Uh-huh.
they used to laugh at me. They go, you know, you could go outside." I say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I know," but I was still attached to the environment that I was in.
Yeah, you're in a cell. Like i I'm just gonna put myself in your shoes for a minute. If I'm you, let's say I'm you. I used to be a lifer. I wouldn't like to go out on the streets, feeling fear that something might happen. There goes my ass. I'm going back to prison. So I don't know if that's what you felt, but I think that's what would be my feeling. I try to be cautious with everything around me and stuff like that, you know, because you
Yeah,
never.
didn't want to make a little mistake or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
So I
and
was
that's
like, "No, I'm safer in here."
real
You know
stuff.
what I mean? That's how I see it.
Okay, so you're out of the reentry home. You're done, right? You're done. You you got your place. Now what who are you now? Like what's up? What you do? What's up with you? What you do? Like let us know a little bit
Man,
about your life.
who am I now?
Yeah,
Man, I'm a servant of God. That's who I am.
that's right.
Um, I'm somebody that, you know what I mean, is very spiritual. You know what I mean? I love going to church. I love giving back to the community.
Uh-huh.
Um, I have a blessing of a job that God opened the doors for me.
That's right.
You know, a person that I was to who I am now, making $31 an hour,
Yeah, that's right, man.
You know what I mean? From making 9 cents to 11 cents.
Man, remember those paychecks,
You know
man?
what I mean?
A day.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, to me, it's a blessing. You know,
Uh-huh.
but one thing I learned is this: is I try to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. You know,
Yeah,
of how he represented himself. You know what I mean? Money comes and goes. You know,
exactly.
money is given as a blessing,
Uh-huh.
but it's what you do with that blessing that really counts.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You either become greedy and say, you know what, my money, whatever, or you could give back and
Uh-huh.
watch a double portion come back that God gives you.
Yes.
You
That's
know, so to me, it's like me. I try to represent something that gives hope
uh-huh.
to those that you know what I mean are lost.
Yes.
You know, I look at it like this: I'm looking for God's lost sheep.
Uh-huh.
You
Try to
know,
help others. Try to help others. That's what you're doing.
yeah, you know
A
what I
lot
mean.
of people are lost. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? It's a struggle every day. You know, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? Life's not easy. You know what I mean? Because now you're dealing with the real life, the real problems,
Yeah.
and dealing with the real problems the right way instead of violent or whatever. You know what I mean? Uh, uh. So you know what I mean? I've learned how to become a productive citizen.
Yes.
You know, paying bills. You know, dealing with situation, but always trying to find a solution to each problem.
Uh-huh.
You know, I have this amazing woman that I have on my side. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
That is my backbone.
Yeah.
You know, she's very hard,
Uh-huh.
but she's very beautiful inside out, right?
Yeah.
Because she tells me I have to be hard on you.
Yes.
You know, and to me, I tell her it's a trigger. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? When you talk to me a certain way or whatever, it's a
Ah.
trigger because I clinch up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I go, you know, it's because, you know, I just where I come from, you know what I mean? It triggers you. And, you know, she understands that, but she goes, no, look, the reason why I'm hard on you is because you have a purpose in your life. You know,
Uh-huh.
God has chosen you, you know what I mean, to a calling that He has given you.
Yeah.
And the only way to, you know what I mean, to do that is by doing what you're supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
you know? And, you know, to me, it's like she's my everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? I get headaches and I get all that because I'm not used to it. I'm not used to somebody
Yeah.
talking to me like that or giving me that tough love or, you know what I mean? But when it's genuine, you know what I mean? You learn to accept it,
Yes.
you know? And she's actually my motivation where, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm becoming that better person.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
You know what I mean? She tells me, you know what I mean, when you look at people, when you talk to people, you know what I mean, you look at them, you talk to them with empathy, compassion, love,
Yes.
you know, and you know, it helped me a lot, you know.
Yeah, that's what's
So
up, man.
she's shaping me into this person that's like beyond my even belief.
Yeah, it's crazy because we still, even though we've been out for a long time, not a long time, but you know, uh we still hold things that we how we were in there. You know, we always be like, "Hey, man, if you're gonna get at me, don't raise your voice. Talk to me normal." And we still got that mentality, straight up. You
Yeah,
know, we
man.
sometimes, yeah, the way that we speak different. You know, we make sure when we're speaking with somebody, we usually don't use the B word because you already know what that means. So we try
Yeah,
to be like, it's different because we know this is what we used to be do, and that's how we come out here on the streets and be like that. But I see what you understand, what you're talking about when you say it tricks you when your girl be talking to you out loud and raising her voice and stuff like that. Because I have the same, but at the end of the day, man, it's just basically understand that they come, they're regular citizens. You know what I mean? They don't come over here from where we came from. So that's what they know, right? We are on some other trip that that's what prison made us to be. And eventually we have to let go of those that way of thinking, that way, those little triggers that affect us throughout the day. And it's gonna be a difficult struggle, but guess what? We're gonna get it. We're not gonna stop.
Yeah. You know
But
what else I've learned? What else I've learned is though is this is you know what I mean. We were physically and emotionally incarcerated,
yes,
but the people out here in society, even though they've never been incarcerated, mentally they're incarcerated
uh huh,
because of the life they've lived. You know what I
uh huh,
mean? Some had rough lives, you know, and so they incarcerated themselves in how
uh-huh.
they think and how they react.
Yes,
You know, and I kind of understood that. You know what
yeah,
I mean? As our mindset is this, when we were in there, we learned how to communicate. One thing is that we did in there was having that communication with each other, that one-on-one talk. You know, the actual listening, understanding, and corresponding with. You know what I mean?
yes,
Out here, it's a different life. Communication is way different. There's no communication.
exactly, exactly.
The communication is text me or you know what I mean. I'll text you back or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And so for me, it's hard.
yeah,
For me, it's hard because I'm used to communicating with people. You know what I mean? I'm used to sitting at a table with no phones and talking.
uh huh,
Whereas now people can't live without their phone.
yeah.
So it's hard to have that relationship with those around you, you know?
Yeah, that phone is addicting, man. The internet, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can have be sitting having a meal with somebody or whatever, and they're right there constantly on their phone or whatever. I have seen that many. I have struggled with that as well, man. It's something that man, I came out and it was like, oh, look at this new technology. I can only imagine you, man. Were there even phones back then when you when you got
No,
locked
there
up?
wasn't. There were hey, well when I got arrested it was beepers.
Reapers. So that's insane. And coming out to these smartphones, man, and learning how to use that smartphone. You know what I mean?
Man,
Because there's people who they
I'm
be
still learning.
that what?
I'm still learning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And there's people who text, right, and they do those abbreviations. And I had to get used to that. And I'll be like, "What do you mean by that? Can you just complete that word and stuff like that?" Because now it's a whole different of vocabulary out there that they're throwing when it comes to texting and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so but honestly, I would like to thank you, man, for the interview, man. And
Hey, real
yes,
quick. So this is my motivation right here.
ah, how's it going? That's right.
Hello.
That's
Hello.
the one that keeps me alive.
Hey, man. Man. Real stuff, man. Man. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're doing good, brother. Uh, Glad to hear you. We're gonna put your story out there. Hopefully, people can catch the positivity that we're talking about in this interview and see that life is a struggle, and hopefully learn something and don't fall into those negative activities that a lot of people or that we used to do when we were young and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, of
Uh,
course.
Anyways, I do appreciate. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, man. And I already know that you're gonna go to work. Maybe right now you're gonna grub or something. I'm just guessing. But todos modos, muchas gracias, my boy. Highly
Hey
appreciate it.
man, hey, thank you, man. It's been a blessing, man, you know, and just to let everybody know that there is light in that dark tunnel, man. You know what I mean? Stay focused. You know what I mean? No matter how many times you fall, get yourself back up. There are greater things out there.
Yeah, that's right, my boy. Salutes. There you guys have it, man. You know that it doesn't get more real than this. Straight up. Okay,
All right,
man.
brother.
Yeah, with that being said, we out. Gracias.